guys, it's Holly here for PlayStation Access. Now, they mostly keep me chained to my desk, but now and again I'm allowed to leave because I get to interview people like you. Tim of Legends, literally, that is your Twitter handle. You're a legend.
On our pink couch.
This is an amazing pink couch. We're of course talking about Broken Age, which is coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita at the end of April. PS4, PS Vita, cross-buy and cross-save.
Yep.
Anyway, to get started, I think there's going to be a whole generation of people out there that maybe didn't grow up with point-and-click adventures.
What?
So explain to everyone,
generation.
What does it mean? Like, what does, I mean, I know what it means. It's an incredible genre, but for you, how would you sell that to someone now that maybe has grown up on a fast-paced diet of third-person and first-person shooters?
I mean, like in the 90s, that's all we made, like games that you just pointed and clicked at things.
That's what it says on the tin.
Yeah, you're solving puzzles, you're meeting characters, you're exploring the story and unlocking new areas, and it's fun. You
started with a Kickstarter for Broken Age. Now, not only did you just get your Kickstarter, you absolutely surpassed it.
There's some surprises in there. Yeah.
But what does that mean for you? Because obviously all these adventure fans that maybe have dispersed and gone off and done other things have all come back and come together. What's that like for you guys as a whole studio? Because with a publisher, you have like a legal obligation. Yeah. But with a Kickstarter, there's like a deep moral obligation.
Yeah.
Is that tougher? Because to me, that would feel tougher.
No, it's much nicer and more relaxing in a lot of ways, because instead of trying to, when you have a publisher situation, they're trying to guess how they can make the most money out of their investment and trying to guess in advance. And with the crowdfunded thing, people are kind of taking the risk. They're kind of out of it. They're kind of giving you the money in advance. I mean, no, we guarantee you, we like this. We love adventure games. Here's our money in advance. I mean, I didn't even have a title for Broken Age.
Yeah, it was just like Double Fine Project or something.
I want to make a game. I want to make an adventure game. And they gave us money, which was just so nice. And I think they also felt empowered because they liked adventure games and they weren't getting enough of them. You know, because there still are people who played adventure games ever since the 90s, and there's just a smaller community of them, and they just got organized and put their money all together and they made it happen, which I think is great, because there's a lot of what you call niche markets, like people who just they're a small group, but they make up for it with how much they love it, you know, and those people are able to like make it happen and change the industry in that way.
What's it like then to have them all back? Because just to watch all of those adventure fans, point-and-click fans, just come back and just put everything they had behind you guys. That must have felt great.
It felt great. Yeah, and it felt like, yeah, you want to make sure that you're making a game that they'll like, but that's the way you always think about games. You're like, I want to make a game that the players will like. And now those are also the players, and they're your patrons. They're the people who paid for the game. So it's like, it's natural to worry about whether they like it or not. So at least there's no more middleman.
So we're coming out on PlayStation. It's been 2 parts on other platforms. For PlayStation, it's coming out as kind of the one game.
Complete enchilada.
But let's sort of explain it, because it's kind of following 2 different stories that are interwoven in some way.
Don't spoil, it's secret.
It's secrets. But how do you come up with that idea? Was it just one day you had a dream? Because you said you went into this without knowing the title of the game. So did you have any idea what you wanted to make? Or get the money first and then see if we can make something.
Yeah, because we're making a documentary about it. So there's this group, 2-Player Productions, they're filming everything. And I wanted them to film how ideas come out, and sometimes it's just me sitting there with a notebook. In this case, I had for years wanted to tell a story about a girl who's going to be sacrificed to a giant monster who decided maybe she didn't want to get sacrificed. No. Like, what if you fight the monster, and what would happen afterwards, you know? And I've also been interested in stories like science fiction stories like Moon, or back at Silent Running or something, where someone is isolated and living with technology and kind of being taken care of by technology, or in the case of Shay in Broken Age, actually raised by technology. And so all by himself in a spaceship. And then as I start down to think about ideas for this game, I was thinking about those 2 ideas and how they kind of fit together and how they tell different sides of a similar story about, you know, youth and coming of age and deciding you don't want to follow the scripted life set out for you and breaking against that and then dealing with the consequences of it. But in a really fun, hilarious, puzzle-solving way. It's
really beautiful as well. The art style is incredible. So do you have someone just in staff that put their hand up and just said, I draw really good, here's an art style? Because that art style is part of, I think, what brings the charm of the story to life.
Well, that's great. I mean, that was one of the reasons I wanted to make an adventure game, was that we have a lot of great artists, and Nathan Stapley, who's been an artist with us since the beginning, like been there for 14 years, and has just does these amazing paintings, and often when you translate that into 3D, something kind of changes or gets lost.
Yeah.
And so I want to do a game where those paintings were just presented as they are. And so I think every frame of the game looks like a painting, you know, and evocative of his style. And that's something. There is something that 2D games will always have over 3D games. I mean, they're beautiful 3D games out there, but I think there's also been a resurgence of 2D games in a painterly style. You've seen a lot of games like Child of Light or Valiant Hearts.
Both from Ubisoft, showing that I think you can do it, but that 2D, it just has something about it that makes it feel very special, drawn,
handcrafted.
Yeah.
I think everything
with
in
love.
Broken Age, you feel like it's lovingly made, whether it's a cutscene or even a puzzle, even a mean puzzle that you're mad at, was lovingly made just to torture you.
Do you love a mean puzzle?
I'm really going to craft this torturous puzzle for somebody.
Yes. Now, the game has done obviously incredibly well, but you have an amazing cast. Shades like Elijah Wood,
Yeah, how did that
Jack
happen?
Black is in it, and Jennifer Hale, whose voice is just incredible.
Yeah.
How do you just sort of call them up and be like, oh, I've made this character, and like I know Lord of the Rings is over, so you're probably not doing anything
Yeah,
right
I haven't
now.
seen.
Like,
Yeah, it's
you
been
probably
a
need some
while.
work, right?
You're not
like,
in those Hobbit movies, are you?
We'll give you breakfast every day.
Well, part of it is finding out who the nerds are. You know, because I read this article and I read about Elijah Wood playing Monkey Island.
Yeah.
And I was like, a nerd.
On the list.
Specifically, an adventure game player, you know?
Yeah.
And similarly with Jack Black, you know, he's a real gamer, and I see him on online playing games all the time. And but you know, Elijah had actually tweeted about it. He tweeted about, hey, have you seen this Broken Age thing? And I was like, that's really
Dude, that's my
interesting.
game.
That's awesome. Hey, Elijah. And so I, tweeted back at him and then sent him a direct message like, do you want to be in the? Hey, that's great.
Like
you like the
whispered it
game?
through the direct message.
Yeah.
Do you want to be in my game?
Do you want to be in the game? Is that cool? Or
Don't tell anyone.
Is this embarrassing that I asked you? Because it was kind of embarrassing, like thinking he might want to be in it. But he was in it, and he's perfect for it. And he just did amazing things with the character. And he was so nice in the studio because he knew exactly what adventure games were like. So it was like, this is the part where I'm going to use every object, and the half the lines will be stupid.
All wrong and
yeah, so he was just reading them all, and he got all the jokes, and he made them all funnier. And so he's a great thing to have added to the game. And we worked with Jack Black before in Brutal Legend, and so we wanted to have him in there. Jennifer Hale was in Brutal Legend too.
Jennifer Hale's just
she's awesome.
She's incredible. I'm a big Mass Effect fan, so she is the ultimate femshep.
Yep.
She is the one. Okay, so from voices to music, the soundtrack is available, I think, for people who purchased it through the Kickstarter, and it was beautiful.
I think so too. Peter McConnell did our orchestration and composing.
LucasArts for years. He did some stuff from
pretty much every game I've ever.
LucasArts. I was looking at his IMDb. I was like, okay, see where you worked.
Full Throttle, Grim Fandango.
Grim Fandango especially, and the remastered as well.
The remastered, he got to finally live the dream of having it all be actual orchestra.
Yeah.
Because in the old days it was like a digital.
Yeah, I was wondering
if it sounded great,
that,
but he's like, oh, I wish we could afford instruments.
And you could again for this one when they were Broken Age. I think he was going to start small, and then I think he just sort of said, I need to think
hey,
big.
While those musicians are in the studio, let's have them also keep playing and do this music too. So we had them do both the Grim Remaster and Broken Age music.
Oh, so while you're there, it's like, right, double or nothing now, guys. You're gonna now orchestrate 2 games at once.
Yeah. You've got to push your luck when you have an opportunity like that.
So if someone comes up to you and says, oh, Broken Age is an indie game, how do you feel about that?
Because, is or isn't?
Well, if someone said it is, right, Broken Age is indie, you're independent.
Funded by people.
Yeah. How does that make you feel? Because I know there's a kind of resurgence now of people going, indie maybe isn't the right word people want to use. Some people look at indie and go, oh, I don't play indie games. And potentially...
Who would say that?
There are people
what kind
out
of
there.
snob would not want to play anything?
But potentially they're missing out, or I feel they're missing out on good experiences. I almost did. I used to be like, oh, I like AAA stuff. Indie's not for me. And I played Thomas Was Alone. And it really changed it. And then, went to Bastion and Transistor, and I realized there's loads of stuff missing.
Exactly.
Do you think that there's a problem with people potentially missing out on games like Broken Age because they're just not willing to maybe take a chance?
I mean, there's so many great indie games where they're really pushing the new ideas, and they're not afraid of taking big risks and pushing on changing genres and inventing new genres and making stories about weird topics that are not necessarily made in big AAA games. And they're getting like nicer and nicer looking, and think you should check them out.
Definitely check them
Who
out.
wouldn't want to?
Or at least check out Broken Age.
Especially start with
Just
Broken
start
Age.
with Broken Age and then go to Grim Fandango.
Exactly, and then I'll pull you in.
And then there's
you'll
loads
be
of them
hooked.
after that.
I mean, that's the great thing about games nowadays is that there's both. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You can play a big AAA game, and you can play them on the same machine that you're playing the indie games on, and
It's a balanced diet.
exactly, all part of a balanced breakfast.
Yes. Thank you so much. Broken Age looks incredibly beautiful. It's the kind of thing I just want to get lost in. I think Vita might be the one for me.
Yeah.
Headphones in a dark corner somewhere, just.
And you can point and click if you want, or
Yes.
you can use the controllers.
I've enjoyed quite a few now point and clicks on my Vita. Thank you to a few
Natural.
other broken sword, broken age,
Broken things and
broken
age
things that work beautifully that relive the point and click adventure. So thank you very
Well,
much.
thanks for playing.
This is awesome. I'm
Thanks for
super
having me.
excited that I got to
Shake.
meet you. You can.
It's
Jackson's
official.
going to take that as a screenshot and deliver it to me, and it'll just be like tattooed on my back.
That'd be a weird tattoo.
It would, wouldn't it? Especially, yeah, it wouldn't work. I don't like pain that much. Anyway,
Hands
thank you.
across the Atlantic.
Thank you so much. This is incredible. You guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys can check out Broken Age on the 29th of April when it comes to PS4, PS Vita, and you can stay tuned for the YouTube channel because there's more incredibly awkward interviews where I interview famous people and then freak out.
Off to the tattoo parlor.